Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you for hanging out with me today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the manicures that I wore for the month of November. So I ended up, I think I wore like 9 manicures if I counted correctly. Was it 9 or 10? Let me see. I have it wrote down here. I got 9 in, I think. I went a couple days towards the end of the month where I just didn't take the time to paint my nails, and even my husband had mentioned, he's like, you're not going to do your nails? He's like, usually they're not bare this long. And I'm just like, it just didn't happen. So I got 9 manicures in, and I believe I wore like 23 polishes. Most of these are untrieds, which I am excited about. Some of these have been worn, but it's been several years, so I was glad to revisit those polishes. First one is Zoya's Ryan, which is this gorgeous polish here. It is a beautiful blue cream. I think this is Ryan. Yes. So this is a really pretty blue cream. And then over top of that, I put KB Shimmer's Take It or Leave It, which is a really beautiful polish here. This is absolutely gorgeous. So that is the topper. So I put both of these together in a fun little manicure, and I really enjoyed how they looked. I loved the combination. I posted this on Instagram, and so many people are like, holy moly, that combo is gorgeous. Had a blue on my rack, and I really wanted to wear it, and I haven't wore this one. So this combo was really a great combination. Honestly, it was absolutely fantastic. I loved that one. Definitely would wear it again. I think I ended up going from round nails to square nails for this manicure. I flip-flop back and forth. Not sure why. I prefer round nails on myself, but I'm always wanting to square them off just because taking a break from round. But I prefer like oval type nails myself. I just like it that way, and my nails grow better. They don't have sharp edges, all of that stuff. So it was a squared off manicure with that one. And then I think I ended up going ahead and rounding them off again, just because, again, the square, I used to do square all the time and don't like square on me as much as I do round. I prefer round on me. So anyway, the next one here, this one, oh my goodness, this was top notch. One of my, hold on a minute, nope, I got that wrong. Okay, so this one was a good manicure. One combo I didn't really care for, and that was a bad color choice on my part. So I wore, on one hand, I did 2 Victorian Varnishes. We have Pyrote, which is a beautiful chocolate cream. And then over top of that, I wore Chocolate Skyscraper. This was part of her Sugarscapes limited edition Polish Beauty Expo polish. So I put this over top of the brown. It was a great combo with this one. I loved it. The cream from Victorian Varnish was a 2-coater, and then I did 1 coat of Chocolate Skyscrapers over that. So the other hand, this one was a little bit meh. The colors just didn't quite jive like I thought. I used Plain Koi from Essie. I did 2 coats of this, I believe. And then over top of that, I had this one on my seasonal rack. This is Baked Pumpkin Stuff from Potion Polish. This is a really pretty pumpkin-y shade. I love how this looked, but the colors together here, this one from Essie is a little too light for me, so it didn't quite work like I had initially hoped it would. It was a little bit off color-wise, but it was really pretty nonetheless. That was a fun one. I just don't think I would pair these two together again, because this one from Potion Polish is a little bit darker than my base color, and it darkened up Plain Koi from Essie a little more than I had expected. So next up, this was one I did just trying to do kind of a skittle, and I didn't love it immediately. I liked it as time went on, but the colors just were a little bit meh for me. I was trying to go for a fall vibe, and this kind of worked, kind of didn't. These are all indies, I think, except for what I used to stamp with. So I have Glisten and Glow's For the Love of Gourd, Glisten and Glow, Pumpkin Spice, and Everything Nice. So we have an orange hollow and a yellow hollow from them. And then I paired 2 cupcake polishes. We have this one in Thankful, And then I have this one in Hot Girl Fall, which I talked about before. These are absolutely beautiful hollows, gorgeous formulas. One of my favorites. I did some stamping. I used Sinful Colors Why Not for a little bit of stamping on one finger, and then I used Maniology's Alocasia for another set of stamping. I liked it. It was pretty. I will say with these two from Glisten and Glow, they are a little bit lackluster. They're a little sheer. Formulas were thin. They were pretty, but they were a little hard to build up, and I think some of the trouble was the brushes part of the issue? No, not really. They have like a nice paddle brush, as you guys can see here. So it's got a really nice paddle brush to it, but the formulas were a little bit thin with these. I don't know if I'm going to keep these or destash these. I really don't know yet. For me, though, they were a little bit, you know, lackluster in the hollow. They're pretty, but the formulas weren't great on those. So I don't know if I'm going to hang on to them. My husband will be like, hang on to them, I'll use them. So we'll see. But it was okay. It wasn't a huge favorite of mine. I put a heart beside it because I did like it over time. So moving on to the rest of these, let's see here. This one was really beautiful. I will say I don't have a photo of the toppers I used. I had pictures taken, had them uploaded, or thought I had them uploaded to my laptop, deleted them out of my phone before I realized they weren't on there. So I don't have the photos of what these looked like over top of the bases, unfortunately. I apologize, but they got lost in, you know, transferring from my phone to my laptop to try to edit. So that didn't happen, but I wore two creams. I believe one is untried. This is Essie's No Ex-pectations. It is a really pretty purple, like smoky purple. I did 2 coats of this on my left hand, I think, and then on my right, I wore Way Back When from Salon Perfect. This is one that I almost destashed, but I kept it, and I'm so glad I did because the formula is top-notch with this one. Really beautiful. Don't know if you can get this one or not. I'll link it below if you can. So I did both of those and just left it as like a basic cream for a while and thought I need a little something extra, so I pulled some toppers from LA Colors. We have Jewel Tone, which is a really pretty multicolored glitter. This is solely like purple, pink, and blue. And then I wore this one from LA Colors in Hidden Treasure. This is a really pretty one. There we go. So that's what they look like. They are really pretty toppers. As you can see, this is kind of a rose gold. This is more of a like multicolored glitter. Really beautiful. I love these. Way Back When is one of my top favorites. Really beautiful. I love it. It is a great combo. The creams were fantastic. No issues with that one whatsoever. So next up, oh, okay, this is one that I had been contemplated doing. I didn't get to it as soon as I wanted to because of foot surgery. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to one of our other fur babies. I'll insert pictures. This is Marie. She had started to decline in health. She was roughly about 18 years old. We're not 100% sure. She's got to be anywhere from like 16 to 18. The vet said she was definitely older. We just weren't 100% sure on age. She has been around here on our property since, I want to say, we figured like 2006. We got married in 2007, so we assumed that's when she showed up. We can't really remember. But anyway, she definitely was older, doing great until early October, like the second week of October. I took her in for a checkup. She had what we thought was respiratory, and she wasn't kicking it like she normally would. They did all the medications and all of this stuff. She wasn't kicking it, and I'm like, this is weird. I mean, she kept on sneezing like crazy. They thought it was allergies. They thought it was respiratory. We did everything we thought we could do, and I'm just like, she's not getting over this. And I took her back in October. She had gone multiple times, and I'm just like, I don't like how she's looking. She had gotten really thin, and we thought she's still eating, she's drinking, she is, you know, meowing for pets. She wasn't one that liked cuddles or anything. You could pet her, but she didn't like to be picked up. She really wasn't great when she had to go to the vet. She was a little tricky for them, but she wasn't feral or anything. She was until we brought her indoors with our other ones back in like 2017. She had been outside until that point. Because she was feral, we couldn't really do much with her. We didn't know then what we know now with them. But anyway, so long story short, I took her in October, and she said she's a kidney kitty. She's got some kidney disease starting. And I think at that point it had been going on and nobody caught it. They were focused on mouth issues, this issue, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, I don't know how we didn't pick it up. We've had kidney kitties before. In our experience with our little sanctuary we run, they have kidney stuff. You can do all the preventative measures with the vet. You can do multiple appointments, you know, weekly appointments, whatever it is for their health. But it always ends up, they decline fairly quickly, and you have to make a decision. So that's what happened with her. I was told she was a kidney kitty on October 11th, had foot surgery October 24th. That night, my husband came in from taking care of him and had said, we're going to have to do something with Marie. We have to make a decision. And I'm like, hold on a minute, what? You know, I had just gotten home from foot surgery a few hours before. I was laying in bed with my foot propped up. I was not expecting this. We knew she wasn't doing great, but we didn't really think much of it. We figured, you know, we're just going to see how she does, be in contact with the vet, all of that stuff. And he's like, yeah, we're going to have to make a decision. She's not eating. She's not moving out of her little spot she's in. She doesn't, you know, she's not acting right. So I contacted the vet that next day, that Friday, and we ended up ultimately lucking out. The vet was still there, and she's like, hurry up and get her here because the vet's leaving, you know. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we brought her in. They knew she was coming. It was a quick, you know, boom, 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 boom. We didn't want to make her suffer any longer, unfortunately. I will say they give them a little bit of something to kind of, you know, sedate them so they don't know what's going on. And I was on crutches and everything, and they made sure I had a spot to sit because they knew I had just had surgery. And luckily my husband was home that day because of my surgery, and he was able to be there because I wouldn't have been able to take her had I, you know, not had him home. So they sedated her, and I was able to, I've never been able to give this girl kisses. And that's just not her. I was able to. So I sat there right beside her and was able to just give her all the kisses in the world and just tell her, you know, she was going to be feeling better real soon. So they went ahead and are like, do you want more time with her? And we're like, no, just go ahead and, you know, do what you have to do. And they don't allow, you know, you to be in there when they help them cross over, which I appreciate. I've been there before for multiple ones, and it's not an easy thing to do. But I was like, I'm used to doing it. And she says, I don't do that. She said, I'm not comfortable having pet owners there when I do the final step. So that's what we did. What a way to start off surgery recovery. But so anyway, it was a long tangent there. Holy cow. With that said, I did a Mani tribute for her, and a couple of my gals on Instagram decided to go along and do one for her as well. So thank you to each of you that participated. I know there were some of you that couldn't, and I completely understand life is hectic, but to those of you that participated, thank you so much. So I wanted to do a similar color combo to Marie. She was kind of almost like a salt and pepper kind of coloring. So I went ahead and wore a gray from Night Owl Lacquer, which is gloomy. This is a beautiful, nice cream. I ended up wanting like a gray, white, and black. So for the white, I used Color Boost from Monarch Lacquer. I've talked about this before. Then I wore Victorian Varnish Selenite over top of that. Did a black base for a few nails. This is Obsidian from Victorian Varnish. And then I wanted a topper, so I used an untried called Thank You Mom from Watcha, and this is a holographic topper. So I wore all of those together. I did do some stamping. I'll put info down below what I ended up doing because I honestly don't remember what plate I used, but I will put that down in the description box. So that was post-surgery thing we had to do. That was not a fun one, and I thought I was going to be able to get through talking about that without getting emotional, but guess not. So anyway, yeah, so we had to do that. That is the third fur baby we've lost for 2024. That's the third one we've lost since July the 20th. So it's been quite a few kind of close together, but all right, so let's keep going. I loved that manicure. It was perfect for her. It worked beautifully, and I was proud of it and was very happy with how that one turned out. So let's see. This next one is probably one of my top favorites for the month. This was fantastic. I wore OPI's, excuse me, You Gotta Get This blue cream, as you can see here. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous polish. Really, really beautiful. Love this one. It was almost a one coater. I believe I changed the brush out in this one, but it is top-notch gorgeous. Couldn't stop staring at my nails. I wish I would have just used this for both hands and been done, but I didn't. So I wanted to do like a mashup manicure. Again, I used Victorian Varnish. This is Erythrite. It's a really pretty, like almost like a red beet color. Over that, I wore another untried, which is Mighty Mouse Outside Chicago from Wildflower Lacquer, and this is a beautiful polish. Look at this. This is so, so pretty. Really, really beautiful. Paired gorgeously together. Loved it. Didn't want to take it off. I had it on for quite a while. I had it on for like 4 days, and boy, did I love it. It was so beautiful. All right, so next, this one didn't go quite as planned. I had some staining with this combination and was kind of surprised by that. I didn't expect to have so much staining, but I did. I'm not sure what happened. So I wanted to kind of do like a fall mashup manicure. On my right hand was Victorian Varnish, Whatever Spices Your Pumpkin. You can get this polish from her if you purchase a t-shirt. She sends it as a freebie. Over top of that is Incandescent from Wildflower Lacquer. This is a really beautiful shade of polish. This is just absolutely gorgeous. This was part of their July collection, I think. And then the other hand is I Pine For You from Victorian Varnish, which was a green cream. And then over top of that, I wore Podsnappery from Victorian Varnish. And this is a really beautiful shade of polish. It is absolutely stunning. I got it recently and really loved it. I will say I had it on for a couple hours. Didn't like the orange combo enough, and I had some issues applying these two. I just had trouble with like flooding the cuticles. I think I just had too much on my brush with this cream. But when I got done taking this off, my nails were stained from both of these. So I don't know if it's the cream that did it or if it's podsnappery. I'm not really sure. I know that Tammy from Victorian Varnish had said this one is really, really pigmented. It could be a combination of both. So if you have either one of these, you may have staining. I was kind of surprised I had staining after a couple hours, and I was like, oh, I was able to lightly buff my nails with a buffer, and it came out just fine. So not sure what happened there, but anyway, it did stain a little bit. So next is top notch, probably one of my favorites for the month. This was beautiful. Didn't know if I liked it at first, but I really, really did enjoy it. So I wore What's Kraken 2.0 from NV Lacquer. This is a teal holographic polish. And then I have Bluebird Lacquer Red Crested Bregul. This is from April 2024 PPU. So this one is really gorgeous. One of my favorites. And then this one from NV Lacquer, teal holographic. These were beautiful. I did 2 coats of the NV Lacquer and then I think 3 coats of the Red Crested Bregul for full opacity, but these together, really beautiful polishes. Application was fantastic. I will say with this one, I felt it was a little bit lackluster. Not sure why. I should have probably used like a extra layer of top coat. It didn't dry textured or anything, but it was a little bit tricky trying to I don't know. It's pretty. I just don't think it was quite as pretty as I thought it was, but I really did enjoy it. But I will say the standout was the one from Envy for me. I couldn't stop staring at my nails. It was that gorgeous. So lastly for the month, this manicure was a little bit of a flop. Well, one polish was. The other set wasn't. The other one I liked. So I wore Essie's In Plain View. Over top of that is a new untried called Fizzy from LA Colors. Like shimmery polish. These paired gorgeously together. I did both of those together on one hand. On my left hand, I wore this one, and I have worn it before and loved it. This time around, it was a little different. So this is Shift Your Focus from Finger Paints. A really beautiful polish. It's a purple with blue to pink shimmer. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping this one. It looked terrible upon application. Formula was not great. It was really, really thin this time, and I don't remember it being that way before. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if I just rushed through the manicure, but there's nothing wrong with the polish. I just felt like it was a little bit thin. It doesn't actually appear all that thin in the bottle, so I'm not sure what happened, but I didn't love it. I ended up waking up the next morning and had the polish pulled off my thumb, and it had rippled. And I'm just like, how did that happen? So it didn't dry. Where I do my manicures and where I'm out here filming, I have to have a heater going because it's cold, and I thought maybe that was it. But I know I've done stuff before and it dried fine with other polishes, and I didn't have any issues with this combination at all. So I really think it was this polish. It just did not jive. So I don't think I'm going to keep this one. I don't know if I want to chance it. I've had 2 good manicures with it before, but I haven't used it in probably 2 years. I'm just not sure. It just didn't work out, and I had issues with the other set of polish, these 2, I would have figured it was a base coat top coat issue, but I didn't have any issues with that teal set that I did. So I think it's this polish, honestly, and I'm probably going to go ahead and declutter this one because it just didn't work for me, and I don't want to chance having an issue again. So I will probably destash that. But that is it. That's everything that we wore for the month. I will list everything down below if it's available. I know like LA Colors stuff is usually dollar store or Walmart exclusives, but most of the stuff you probably can't get because it is indie based. If it's available, I'll list it down below with a link. So I think that is everything. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you in the next one.